Hello, Sylvia.
Hello, Anthony. And hello, everybody who's watching. We're going to do another Q&A with the group of 100. And today we have been honored to meet the group of 1,000, who are the what do you call it? So the group of 100 is galactic and our own solar system, and the group of 1,000 is all galaxies and
Mhm.
all space and time. So they came in very briefly just to introduce themselves, and they will come through at future times when the energy is correct. So for today, we will just be working with a group of 100, who, as we have said before, is a group of star beings and ascended masters and souls, and very much linked to the guardian race, who are here overseeing Earth's transition at this time. So we will tune in, and Anthony has some questions and answers for questions for them. Thank you. Greetings, dear ones. Greeting, beloveds. We are here. We have you have some questions for us, dear Anthony.
Yes, and greetings. I had a little bit of a think about this. Well, not really. I think the most pressing questions people want answered often relate to fundamental aspects of life. These include questions about who they are, why they are here, where they are going, and how to get there. So my question, yeah, so it's pretty basic. So my question is, um, I would like to go over each of these questions. Can you please give a general overview to allow for a line of inquiry so people can then follow up and explore the spiritual aspects of each of these questions, as this is different from the psychological and a religious interpretation. AI and religious books can give this information. Basically, what is the most beneficial spiritual aspect regarding each of these questions? So the
Yes,
first one
that's a
is
very big question, Anthony. But we understood the bit about can you ask each of those separately, and
yes,
yes, certainly. Off you go, and we will do our best to answer.
right. So the first one is who am I? Your self perception, values, identity, and one's spiritual self of being.
As we have said before, you are a spirit living in a body.
Mm,
This particular body is incarnated by choice this on planet Earth for this
mm,
cycle. Before this time, it has been incarnated many other times on planet Earth. And in a time before corruption, it was also incarnated on other planets and on other galaxies across the whole multidimensional field. We won't go into the fact that souls have been limited to a cycle of just returning just to
mhm,
Earth for millennia, which has certainly limited the wealth of the soul, limited the truth of what a soul really is, which is
mhm,
beyond space and beyond time. This is the God spark. This is who you are. You are a fragment of the God self. And it is that Prime Creator chose to, as it were, split himself into many parts to experience his creation, to experience life through the embodying in all the existent dimensions and planets that exist throughout space and time. And we, the human, is that aspect living in a human body at this time, but very much guided and connected to the true self, which is the soul. Does this answer this question?
yes, yes, perfect. And it's also people have a perception that they think they're their physical body, and they go to the gym and they work out and they get really concerned when they all die and all this sort of stuff, where they don't seem to realize that it's like you're driving in a car and you're not the car, or you're not the shirt that you put on in the morning. You know,
Yes.
it's a vessel.
Yes, and this is, uh, this is not their fault. Much forgiveness is needed here and
Mm,
understanding. And really, once these people perhaps begin to wake up a little bit to the true reality, they must forgive themselves that they have been so seduced down the path of, the Jonesies, isn't it? We want what the neighbours have. Um,
mm,
this is part of the very very the dark, the mind control aspect of the dark
mm,
that has come upon humanity via the television sets, via the marketing, via the media, all corrupt institutions, which have really, unfortunately, really brainwashed
mm,
a large amount of the people, and only those who have had, very strong spiritual grounding, or have, for some reason, the capacity to see through this hologram, have been able to hold to the spiritual truths. But the forces are very great, and it has caused those higher races of us who are watching humanity much grief and much distress to see humanity having been brought so low by these concepts, because these concepts, of course, are ultimately bound and tied and answerable to the ego self. And this is
mm,
the self which only can offer control, can only end up in judgment, comparison, and blame. None of these are spiritual values, and none of these bring happiness to the individual. So we look forward to a time that the planet is lifted out of this darkness, this deep mind control, so that people can understand the truth of their spiritual selves.
mm. Great. Um, Sorry, I'm just gonna. Um, why am I here? Exploring one's purpose and meaning in life, including their contribution to the world and their spiritual mission.
Well, your soul, put your hand up. So, in the normal cycle of incarnation and reincarnation, the soul after death returns. There is a thing called a life review, where the soul basically is shown and examines every choice they made, and good and bad, and they are able to distill all meaning and all learning from this life lived. And then from that point, they go and they plan. It's really like 5D, 6D, 7D chess, plan the next life that they choose. And this will be because they want to experience, for example, they want to experience what it is like to be loved and then not loved and then loved again, or to lose all my money and then become very rich, or to be healthy and then lose my health, or and many, many, many subtle variations of this, because the self that we were talking about a moment ago, that really just thinks, their value rests in the color shirt they wear that day and how
Mm,
their hair looks, that self is actually, the real learning is in the failures. And this is how the human really learns, through trying, through failing, through picking themselves up, through studying, through learning, through being drawn off track over here because that thing is the thing they really needed to learn. These values aren't really described within society as being worthy values, but they are the core of the spiritual journey. So when the soul dies, they look back on this pathway and they learn from it, and then they decide, okay, this time I want to do this. So yes, in terms of why are you here, your soul has said, I want to go and I want to experience what it is like to have 3 children and live in the suburb, what it is like to have no children and be single all my life. these are textures that the planet Earth can offer. I want to be involved with space exploration. I want to be a fisherman, etc. Yes, all these beautiful textures of life on this amazing planet can be offered to a soul coming in. That explains why you are here. The other part of the why is that this is a learning planet, which we were explaining a moment ago. This is a teaching planet. Earth is a teaching planet. So souls come here not because life is easy here, in fact the opposite. Souls who have never incarnated on Earth watch with amazement as their brother and sister souls from other spheres incarnate here on Earth and really have to go through these rather gruesome trials of physicality and all the stories that have been running on this planet: scarcity, ill health, toxicity. And these things aren't experienced, of course, in the higher realms. So Earth offers unique challenges in regard to these. And so because it is a learning planet, the soul will come here to learn. Now, this is also a particular time. So many of the souls, certainly the light worker souls, those who would call themselves humanitarian or light workers, or even just the strongly good-hearted souls on planet Earth at this time, they put their hand up to come here at this time. This was not a normal incarnation in the sense that many, many thousands from many, many galaxies and planets also put their hand up. And those lucky enough to be chosen to be on Earth incarnate at this time were those who, certainly those from the lightworker community, beings of light who had something specific to contribute to planet Earth at this time of immense evolution. So in terms of why are you here, if you are indeed one of these souls who feels this alignment to source, who feels this alignment to mission, then you are one of the chosen who have come to be here at this time to offer your service and your insight and the layers of your gifts, which will be coming increasingly more online, to support planet Earth and her evolution at this time. And this is a very strong answer to the question why I am here, and it is something that many are feeling in their bones and their blood at this time, and it has become a matter of urgency for some to go, yes, what am I supposed to be doing? Am I in the right place to be doing it? And what am I here to do? And we can promise you that these answers are coming thick and fast at the moment. And this is the time to plunge into whatever answer you receive about what you are here to do and give it a go, because it may then open the door to the next thing. And then there you are, you will find yourself, you are on path, on mission, and you arrive at the state of knowing I am exactly where I am supposed to be at this time, doing the work that I came here to do. And that indeed brings the human soul much relief and peace.
Right. And then the next one is, where am I going? Spiritual aspirations and a vision for the future and humanity. And is there a map?
Is there a map? Well, dear one, we do love this. Yes, of course. You have all heard about the divine plan. It has become a bit of a catchphrase, has it not, being thrown around at the moment. But in truth, there is a divine plan. There is certainly a plan for planet Earth, which is that she is evolving, that she is transcending, she is moving into higher realms, she will be being birthed into the fifth dimension, and that ascension in a human body is going to happen on this planet for the first time ever. This is the overarching plan. Within that, of course, every individual has their own path and their own timing and their own timeline Of course, every individual has their team of guides and helpers and their healing teams and their connection to source, all which are providing guidance for the individual plan at any moment. What is required here is the listening. What is essential here at this moment in order to unify the pathway of your own individual plan with your role in the larger plan is it is essential to take the time for the meditation, for the prayer, for the hours of stillness, for the listening to the body when it says you must rest,